can never be the same again.
The Moonlit Curse of Blackwood Hollow. The villagers of Blackwood had always whispered about the forest. Its pines stood darker than any others in England, their tips clawing at the sky like blackened talons. Travelers who wandered too far into Blackwood Hollow rarely returned, and when they did, their minds were shattered and their eyes spoke of unspeakable terror. For generations, the locals claimed the forest belonged not to men, but to the beast. Some called it a demon, others a restless spirit, but most agreed it was a werewolf, a creature cursed by the moon to hunt, kill, and feast upon human flesh. It was late October, 1894, when a stranger arrived in Blackwood. His name was Elias Hart, a weary scholar with ink-stained fingers and a face that carried the weight of sleepless nights. He came not for trade, nor for kin, but with an obsession, the truth behind the werewolf legends. He lodged at the Stag's Head Inn, where the locals eyed him with unease. When Elias asked the innkeeper, Mr. Cormac, about the hollow, the man stiffened. "No one goes in there past nightfall," Cormac said, voice low. "Not unless they've a death wish. Best you keep your questions to yourself, stranger, and your feet away from those woods." But Elias was not deterred. He had read too many letters, too many journals left behind by those who disappeared, each hinting at an ancient curse. His notes spoke of a family bloodline tied to the beast, of sacrifices made to keep the creature at bay. And somewhere, buried beneath the folklore, he believed there was truth. That very night, Elias was stirred from his bed by a distant sound, a howl that seemed to come from deep within the hollow. It was not the call of a wolf, nor the cry of any natural beast. It was long, mournful, yet layered with something almost human. The villagers stirred uneasily the next morning. A farmer had been found dead near the edge of the woods. His body was torn apart, chest ripped open, ribs shattered as though crushed by something inhumanely strong. His face, frozen in terror, still bore the scratches of claws. The villagers muttered of the curse, of the moon waxing full. But Elias's resolve only hardened. On the second evening, lantern in hand, Elias ventured into Blackwood Hollow. The forest floor was damp with rot, and the canopy above strangled the moonlight until it was little more than a pale thread weaving through the branches. Every step cracked twigs that echoed too loudly in the silence. It wasn't long before he found signs, enormous paw prints pressed deep into the mud, each claw gouging the earth. His lantern flickered as though resisting its own duty, and from somewhere close, he heard breathing. The air grew colder. Elias turned, lantern swinging, and froze. Eyes, yellow, gleaming, unblinking, staring at him from the thicket. He staggered back, heart pounding, but the beast did not charge. Instead, it slipped silently into the deeper woods, as though beckoning him to follow. Against all reason, Elias did. Deeper into the hollow he walked, until he came to a clearing where the moonlight shone full. And there, in the silver glow, stood the creature. It was enormous, easily 7 feet tall, its body a grotesque blend of man and wolf. Its snout dripped with saliva, its fur matted with blood. Muscles rippled beneath its hide as it stepped forward on hind legs that bent at unnatural angles. But what struck Elias most was its face. The beast's eyes, those glowing yellow eyes, were wet with sorrow. For a moment, he swore he saw humanity within them. The creature let out a growl that shook Elias's bones. Yet before it could strike, it turned and fled into the shadows, leaving Elias trembling and gasping in the moonlight. Back at the inn, Elias demanded answers. His fury broke the villagers' silence. Cormac revealed the truth. The werewolf was no random beast, but a curse that had haunted Blackwood for centuries. Every generation, one child from the Harrick family bloodline was doomed to transform under the full moon, their humanity shredded until only hunger remained. They locked themselves away most nights, Cormac whispered. But sometimes, the beast breaks free. It always does. Elias felt his blood run cold. For he had studied the Harrick name before, buried in his research. And he knew what the villagers did not. Elias's own mother had been a Harrick before marriage. The curse was his birthright. The next night, the moon swelled to fullness. Elias felt fever burn in his veins, his body twisting with unbearable pain. His bones cracked like breaking twigs, his skin tore as black fur pushed through, and his hands stretched into claws. The howl that tore from his throat was not his own. In a haze of bloodlust, Elias remembered little. Only flashes, a hunter screaming, the copper taste of flesh, the ripping of tendons. When morning came, his body lay naked and trembling in the woods, blood smeared across his mouth. He was the beast now. As the days passed, Elias struggled against the curse, chaining himself, scrawling frantic notes to record his descent. But with each moon, his humanity weakened. The villagers spoke of more killings, of livestock slaughtered and children snatched from their beds. Pitchforks were raised, torches lit. The hunt began. They stormed the hollow one night, their dogs baying, their hearts burning with vengeance. And when they found him, crouched in the clearing, half man, half wolf, they did not hesitate. But Elias fought with the fury of 10 men. Blood painted the trees, screams echoed in the hollow, and the soil drank deep. One by one, the villagers fell until only silence remained. Blackwood Hollow grew quiet after that. Too quiet. The inn closed, the cottages emptied, and the forest reclaimed the land. Travelers passing through still speak of the place, a ruined village where the wind howls like a wolf, and in the shadows of the hollow, yellow eyes still watch. Some say Elias Hart still wanders there, doomed to hunt forever beneath the moonlight. Others whisper that he bred, and that the curse of the Hart bloodline still spreads, waiting to awaken in the children of strangers who never knew their ancestry. And when the full moon rises over Blackwood Hollow, the howling begins again. If you enjoyed tonight's tale, remember to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves a good scare.